Hey Sugar Snaps, welcome to the Textile Indie YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Brittany. If you're an old friend, welcome back. Glad to have you. I'm super excited to start a new series here on the YouTube channel on embroidery, starting with organizing your materials. So let's get into it. Well, here we are in the studio, and I wanted to introduce my mom, Sherry. She's going to be joining us today and going over some organization in embroidery. If you've been around the Textile Indie YouTube channel for very long, you know I'm not very great at organizing, and Mom and Bailey have that strength for sure. So she has been putting together an embroidery floss collection and has been color coding and doing lots of great things there, and has some things to share with you on that. But I wanted to introduce you to her, and she's going to be bringing us a lot of embroidery content in upcoming months. So this is my mom, Sherry. Welcome, Mom. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And you want to talk a little bit about what you have right there?
To be honest, I think I like organizing the floss even more than I like doing the actual embroidery. That's a problem. Brittany may not be as organized as me and Bailey, but she gets a heck of a lot more projects done. So when I started researching how to organize all this embroidery floss for the projects, I discovered that there are quite a few different ways to do it. But I narrowed it down to the plastic bobbin method. So these little bobbins you get when you buy your boxes at Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. You can also get them online. You can get paper or plastic, but the plastic ones have a much longer shelf life. The paper ones are very frustrating and tend to rip really quickly. But with every box you buy, you get 50 of these, so that gives you a good start. So I determined to go with the bobbins. And then I started researching on Etsy, and I found a shop that does this organizational method. It's called Tidy Stitch. And from her, I bought these little cards. They're really heavy duty cardstock, so they're going to last a long time. They are very sturdy. And on them, she has the number of the DMC embroidery floss. And then underneath, she color coordinates in the color family with all the different numbers, because I discovered that DMC does not go in color order. You don't walk into the store and see all of the blues in a row. There will be blues here and then blues down here and blues over here, because they've added colors and they've added colorways over a very long period of time. It's an old company.
And somebody like me was the one organizing it.
But she puts them in a color family, so I'm able to organize my box with all of the turquoise colors from the very lightest shade to the darkest shade. So when you're designing your own projects, or you're going to be designing patterns like Brittany and I, that gives you, it's like being a painter. You have all of your tools in front of you and you can see the nuances and the hues.
So in thread art, kind of like in weaving or anything that's colorful, you're going to need to take a lot of different hues of the same, or sorry, tones and tints of the same color in order to add depth to your image, whether you're doing something very simple or doing something that has a lot of intricate detail in it. Like in the tapestries that I shared in my vlog a while ago from our trip to Europe, there's a lot of different colors per thread, because when you look at it up close, those colors separate, but when you look at it far away, you get the optical blending where the colors mix together. So having this organization is really cool to think about, because you can take these different colors and add that little bit of shadowing or highlighting in your embroidery like you would with paints, where you take different or add white or black to your paint to kind of add depth to your painting. You know, in theory, I'm not a painter, so that's theoretical, but same kind of concept.
So Tidy Stitch was great. She sends you a pack with all these little cards and a handout that she includes in the package. And on the back, she has it divided into 5 different color families. So you have a box for each of these color families, and she has it all outlined and figured it out for you so that all of the color families are together and in some kind of a organized manner. I was going a little crazy trying to figure out, is this a purple or is it a purple blue or is it more of a red? But it's all done here for you, so I just followed her method. So I have 5 boxes, and then I ended up with a 6th, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then she has all of the current DMC floss by number. And so I went through and organized and got them all in line, and now I can see what I have and what I don't have. And as I go in, about once a month, I've been going in and buying a whole row of the DMC floss just to spread out the expense and adding to my color boxes. Again, this is incredibly fun for me. So it's been satisfying as a project in itself.
Yeah, and if you're not wanting to set up a whole set of an embroidery floss all at once and you have different projects that you want to work with, you can still use this method because you're probably not going to stick with the exact same colors for every single project. So you will build it over time. So you may not have the immediate satisfaction of having all the colors all at once, but you can build, and there's a lot of satisfaction in building it over time and checking the boxes off as you get each color. So it's just something to help you stay organized and to remember that, oh, there is another hue or another tone of this same color. And so if you're designing, you can incorporate that into your work. If you're working on patterns that you've purchased on Etsy or other embroidery patterns, then maybe being able to choose some of your own colors from your embroidery floss collection.
The second tool that I found when I was poking around in Etsy, and this makes my organized, color-loving heart very happy, are these stickers. Again, all of the colors are represented from the DMC, including the variegated and the
Cool.
metallics.
Nice.
So I had started out writing on the back of my bobbins with just a Sharpie pen, but then I found these and I said, oh, I must have these. So I ordered these and I've been adding them. And this is nice because I just take a photo of this and then I take the photo into the store. I don't haul these around with me into the craft store, but I can pull up the photo of the color card that I'm working on, and then I can see which ones I want to add to my collection that I don't have yet.
Nice.
This is from Easy Stitch for Fun, and again, we will link to the Etsy shops that we got these products from and the different tools that we've talked about. Okay, so Brittany and I are going to take this mess and get it all organized. Let me talk about the sixth box while we're here. Like a lot of people, we had a box of random embroidery floss all in a big tangle that had been given to us, that we probably have had some of this since Brittany was a child from our family craft shelf. And it turns out that DMC sometimes
retires.
Yeah, retires their colors. And so when I started using the stickers and putting it together, I had these color swatches that are no longer part of the DMC line. And so I use my sixth box to put those discontinued colors. There's also other boutique brands of embroidery floss, and one other brand at the big box stores besides DMC. And so we just had a lot of random, and I don't want to get rid of that because I will definitely use it. And so I went with the sixth box to keep all of those different colors.
So vintage floss box.
Vintage floss box. Yeah, that's great. Although a lot of these colors that I'm not finding in the DMC line tend to be these neons.
It's like the retro.
Yeah, I don't know, have to make something for the grandkids out of those.
Yep.
So the reason that you want to take it from the skein into a bobbin is because it's really hard to work with, and if you keep them like that, you're going to end up with this mess right here. So what you'll do is take them off. Be sure that you've found the color code on the little label and that you've marked it somewhere. Again, you can just use a Sharpie and put it on the bobbin. That's the easiest way to go about it if you don't have your stickers yet. And through trial and error, I've discovered, if you're new to the world of embroidery, that you need to find, this one's already a little mess, you need to find the center of this floss and then make it into a bracelet and put it on your arm.
Looks like there's one more there.
On another tab.
This is like a skein of yarn. If your yarn isn't tied nice and neatly, your skein's going to fall apart. These DMC floss, they don't have any ties to hold the bundle together. You have to manually do it, which is why you really want to put them on the cards right away, because this is what happens when you don't. And this is my mess, not Mom's.
Well,
to
actually,
clarify.
Some of these, I was trying different ways to do it. So I tried hanging this from the floor and doing it and using weight. That does not work. Don't do that. I tried just, having it, anyway, tried a couple different ways. And this is the most sure way to keep it from getting all tangled up. Now, there is a little tool. It's not very expensive. I think it's under $10, and we'll link to it, that a bobbin winder that you attach to the side of one of your embroidery boxes, and you can use this tool to wind it. I do this while I'm watching TV. I find it very soothing and enjoyable, but you could definitely get that bobbin, and we will need to use the bobbin threader when we start making kits, because that keeps our grubby little hands off of your floss as much as possible. But if you wash your hands, you can do this by hand. And again, I just think that it's a really soothing activity to do, and I can get 12 or 20 of these done in a normal sitcom episode. So that's how I go about winding up my bobbins, put my stickers on, and then it goes into the box.
Be sure to check the description below for the links to all the resources we talked about in this video. Stay tuned for more embroidery content, and until next time, happy making. Bye.